Oh, brilliant. And just taking it back to, say, a job search perspective, now I can see a myriad of ways that you can implement these principles. Now, say you're at an interview and you're trying to find sort of commonalities or links between you and the interviewer. Maybe beforehand you've done some research, they were the same university, or they're Toastmasters, or whatever it is. Or say the scarcity principle, it's about trying to show the potential employer what they could be missing out on. From your perspective, yeah, as you're the expert here, how would you go about trying to use some of these principles in the interview or job search situation?
I always think the place to start is with liking and reciprocity. Reciprocity can be a little harder because you might not, as a candidate, have something you can genuinely give or do that would be beneficial to that person. But absolutely making sure that you find out what you have in common and talking about those things. So I can give you a personal example. It wasn't a job search, but it was reaching out to a potential client. There's a large insurance company here in Columbus called Nationwide Insurance. It's one of the biggest in the country. And I got an opportunity with one of their senior vice presidents. So, these busy person, limited time, we had 30 minutes scheduled. But early on, I said, hey, before we get very far, I have to ask you, how do you know Todd Alice? Now, Harsha, going back to our conversation earlier, he was my high school football coach.
Oh, wow.
So I was wondering, how does this lady know him? And she says, oh, he's like my BFF at church. We've known each other for years. How do you know him? And I said, I played high school football for him. And we started having this conversation about this man who has so positively impacted both of our lives. All of a sudden, this incredibly busy executive who had allotted 30 minutes for me gave me an hour and 15 minutes. That's just and it was genuine. I wanted to really know, how did she know him? I also know that it makes it easier for her to then like me and for things to happen. So that's one simple example that could be done in an interview where you're connecting over somebody that you both know, or something that you've done, or maybe where you've gone to school. You never know where that could lead.
No, I love that point. And actually, from a personal perspective, when I was interviewing for one of my first graduate jobs, I happened to come across a lady and spoke to her about classical music. And even though I'm not a classical music aficionado, I knew a little bit more than her. And it just completely changed the whole dynamic. So when we actually started the interview, it just went so much better. So I just love that.